I'm going to start my intro by warning you, Joseph. Do not make any domestic violence jokes about striking wives or putting her head on a swivel or anything of that nature. I ain't trying to get cancelled because you know it's going to come back to bite us. It doesn't matter if that bitch Lily deserved it. Because it's funny. Sometimes, under certain circumstances, talking isn't enough, is it? I watched a video of a woman doing the hot in a man's face, and he gave her a right hook in return, knocking her out clean. And in the comments now, the common response was, that bitch deserved it. So there's a line where, if crossed, we all collectively believe it's okay or even necessary to hit a woman. What if it's in self-defense? You know, they hit you first. Can you hit them back? Right? So when we have statements in this book, which I can only describe as blatant indoctrination, such as, yes, my ex-Atlas got me the magnet, and I lied to your face when you asked me. Yes, I probably still love him a decade later, even though she never mentioned this to him before they got married. She went on to say, even if you caught me in bed with my ex-Atlas, you don't have the right to lay your hands on me. Does she live in La La Land? This book is a how to indoctrinate women en masse, which is quite dangerous, because if you think you can navigate the world violating people and violence will not meet you purely because you are a woman, then that is sexist, unrealistic, and quite frankly a dangerous idea to teach young women. Yeah. I thought in 2024 we were all for equality. I thought we were trying to stamp out sexism.
You believe that?
Joseph, what do you think?
It's a bad joke.
And what did you think of this book? Pause this video right now. Go and read It Ends With Us by
Colleen Hoover. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
Did you like my intro?
Yeah, it was very good. Very good. Outdone yourself.
I think we're going to get cancelled just from the intro.
Just from that. You didn't even give me a chance to get us cancelled. You didn't even give me a chance to get us cancelled.
I was speaking logic now.
I might as well double down, man. No, 100%. The only thing you said that I would have disagreed with, and I wouldn't even disagree. This disagreement is not the right way to say what I'm about to say, but I don't believe you necessarily have the right.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
right,
no,
but when you followed it up with like, if you think you could just do whatever you want to people and violence isn't gonna, that's just not the way life works. No one can say you have the right to do that. I was gonna clarify that and say that you're right. He doesn't have the right to put hands on. But it's like for women who's reading this, that's not what they're gonna hear. They're not gonna make that distinction. They're gonna be like, you can't do shit. That's what they think that means, right? So they're not gonna make the distinction. So it is incredibly dangerous mentality for women to have. You know, teach your sisters, teach your girlfriends, teach your wives, keep your hands shut. Is that I was going to say legs closed.
Joking. No.
But yeah, keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Because that is a theme of this book. That we're going to go through it. And if Lily kept her hands to herself, a lot of things wouldn't have actually happened.
Like, that's a life motto though. It's a life motto. If you keep your hands to yourself.
But what did you think of the book?
I thought 90% of it. No, I shouldn't say 90%. I'm going to go with 60% of it is hogwash. And it's just like, we're just reading for the sake of reading at this point. Yeah.
But you get
the one thing I can say, exactly, but the one thing I can say is it was entertaining. I was entertaining myself reading it. Yeah. And it made it an easier read. If it was like,
I thought it was an easy read.
We've had other books that are like, this is hard, man.
We Solve Murders.
Oh my God, hard. This one was an easy read. Yeah. It was a simple plot in that there wasn't much one until like halfway through the book anyways. Yeah. Exactly. So it was just stuff happening. I thought the dialogue was pretty okay in the beginning. Like, it kept me entertained, etc., etc. 2 out of 5, realistically.
That's exactly where I had it.
Yeah,
that's exactly where I had it. And I only have it as 2 out of 5 instead of 1 out of 5 because of the topic of domestic violence. You know, it was trying to.
It's an important topic.
It's an important topic.
Well, I think the second half of the book saved it, to be honest. The first half of the book was actual hogwash. Like the first.
Let me tell you what I thought.
All right,
because we're already 10 minutes in.
Do you know what I mean?
Started.
We haven't forgot.
I think it's worth reading just for the emotional element. On the surface, it's easy to feel something for this book, even if you don't understand what you are feeling. And also, this is a book that has a lot of talking points, you know, things to have a discussion about, which I obviously really like. It's not the best book we've read, but it's definitely not the worst that we've read in recent times. I did finish this book in one day, which says something, I guess. It says it's easy reading. Overall, I'd give it 2 out of 5 stars. The low score is because the book itself was confusing. What was the author trying to accomplish? Was it a brainwashing experiment, or was she genuinely trying to touch on the tricky topic of domestic violence? So yeah, I definitely think the book's done more harm than good, which is crazy because I know that's not what she was trying to do.
That's definitely not what she was trying to do.
Oh yeah, the reason why I think the book's done more harm than good is because I was on TikTok and I saw the most sought after book boyfriends, and Ryle Kincaid was right up there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right up there.
Crazy.
Voted high.
Along with all the other toxic, abusive, can't keep their hands to themselves,
That's
men.
Crazy.
Rapists.
It's crazy.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's
insane.
crazy.
It is actually insane.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it is insane. But it's just like, are you surprised? Are you surprised? Like, you read romance, the entire genre is full of this exact pattern repeating itself. This is like what women like to fantasize about. Far be it for me to judge anyone's fantasies,
Kink shaming.
Do you know what I mean? Far from me to kink shame. There's certain men, Elijah, that like feet, all kinds of stuff. But far be it from me to kink shame. But it's just
I love them. Let me go first. I think I got about 10 points.
I've got 11.
All right, well, you can go first then.
That's all right. Go on, big man. So Lily Bloom is an intriguing female lead. It's not often we get an intriguing female lead in a romance novel. Most of them are boring, bland, Weetabix level excuses for dialogue that bark the same 3 or 4 sentences over and over again. Inside the first chapter, Lily has displayed sarcasm and dry wit, and if nothing else, this book should be entertaining. When she encounters Ryle Kincaid, classic bad boy fantasy name, by the way, you will not pull the wool over my eyes. Oh my God, crazy. A weed-smoking neurosurgeon, they discuss the great mysteries of Boston. And Ryle asks her, what's another great mystery of Boston? And Lily replies, your name. If I'm rating the Riz on face value, probably gets a 4 or a 5 out of 10. However, I'm a firm believer in giving women extra points for trying, which boosts us up to about a 6. My knickers will already be coming off. But yeah, I thought I didn't think it was too cheesy. Like, she said, I cringe as soon as I said it, but realistically, women do not do that.
And also, not every Riz bangs.
Yeah, they can't all bang.
Like, people, you could probably know from experience that dry Riz sometimes, But yeah,
they won't all bang. But listen, women don't always do that, and I'm a firm believer scarcity creates value. If a woman who's willing to try, you should reward that, not punish it, because you want to see more of it.
Yeah. Well, I think how many other guys have she used that line on?
That's true.
I would like to start by saying I like the start of the book, the rooftop scene. I like the character building, the philosophy of Lily, the main character admitting that she would be looking forward to her mother getting a beating from her father because it meant that there would be a few weeks of peace in the house as her father would be on his best behaviour trying to make up for his disgusting actions. I love a tainting of the main character. It makes the character real. It was a job well done. I also like how we were introduced to the male love interest and the fact that he's a man who is completely out of control of his emotions. Lily was watching him physically thrash a piece of furniture and she immediately thought, that's the guy I want. There's nothing more that I want in this world than to be that piece of furniture 100%. He is beating. How could that possibly go wrong? Let's not even talk about the rapey, I know you wouldn't hook up right here, but how far would you go?
Legit.
And starts touching her up. So somebody who doesn't respect boundaries.
This guy's smoking weed, looked at her eye sockets and said, I want to fuck you. I was like, you crazy. She was like, I'm wet immediately.
This is the man that she wanted a relationship with. Remember, she kept telling him in the chapters, you don't want a relationship, but I do. And anytime you do something nice, it hurts because I want a relationship and you don't. She was effectively begging for a relationship with this man. Why? So my question to the author is, what is the reason for Lily wanting to pursue a romantic relationship with Ryle other than a shallow attractiveness? I would go as far as to say that the way the story is shaping up initially is a disservice to people, not just women, who are victims of domestic abuse. Colleen Hoover is basically saying that women choose men who display uncontrollable violent tendencies from the moment they meet them, and that because women are so stupid and blind from lust and infatuation, they don't see the red flag from the jump. This isn't a politically correct message, is it?
No, of course not.
She's doing a disservice to victims of domestic violence.
It's a very backwards phenomenon, but you see it all the time. You see it all the time. Like, people typically, like feminist literature, you'll see it's doing a disservice to women through the ideas that they're propagating. They don't even really see it. Where it's like you're calling women weak and incapable of making good decisions.
But it's because that's what women want. Women buy these books.
That's what they fantasize about. That's what they love. That's what they can't get enough of, and they'll continue to buy even after they watch this video. I thought it was the fact that he was even. The fact that he was even telling her like all of this and like they was sharing this whole naked truth thing, I think they took that too far.
I like
in
the
my
naked
opinion.
truth bit.
I like the idea in the beginning, but it's like they took that too far. It's like over the next like 8 months, they was like, "Oh, naked truth time."
Just like, really? Especially like, they'd be mid-argument, naked truth.
Yeah, move from me, bro.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is. I have a riddle for you guys. Which 2-syllable word beginning with T makes me unspeakably angry? Okay, fine. It doesn't perfectly rhyme, but you know what I'm about to say. There's a bloody time skip! In chapter 3, right?
No, it wasn't a time skip.
It's a time skip.
It wasn't.
It was a
time skip. It was a clever way of doing it.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about, but I'm going to get onto that later, but that's not what I'm talking about. In chapter 3, right after Lily gets the news that her mother is thinking of moving to Boston to be with her, we immediately get slapped in the face with a 6 months later. Now, bear in mind, our two protagonists don't live in the same building, they don't work together, and they didn't exchange details. So be prepared for an extremely cringy and circumstantial reunion to advance the plot. So
why do they do this? Just give them the
phone number. Like, what the hell?
It doesn't make no sense.
Do you know what it is? I worked out what it is. What it is
fate.
They want they want that magic lightning bolt moment, which can only happen if it's fate.
They
it's
want meant to be.
Women like to feel like they're not in control. Car crash. Like
phone numbers. It's too mechanical.
Exactly. You might as well have to meet on Tinder.
Leave it to fate.
You might as well have to meet on Tinder. You know, it's like if you have a story with your girl, you met your girl on Tinder, and then there's another couple there, and they're like, "Oh my god, like we met by chance, bumped into each other." Their story is immediately better than yours. Immediately better. You know, it could be the most dysfunctional couple ever. Their story is immediately better than yours because it's a meet cute, whereas you met on that shagging app or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So these kinds of things matter, and it matters to women, and we know it matters because we see this in every single one of these romance stories. So we know it matters.
We've now answered it.
We've literally answered it.
So many other books, it's like they never just skip.
Even remember when we read what was it? The boyfriend. She went on a date with somebody else, and that was the unappealing guy that you should never want. The guy you meet on a dating app, and then the one that you bump into.
Yeah, it was the.
And then bear in mind, she bumped into him once. Didn't give him my number, then bumped into him again. Which is like, this has never happened. You would use a dating app in real life, wouldn't
you? Again, just like in The Boyfriend by
Frida McFadden.
We again have a medical professional, male main character, randomly bump into the female main character instead of them meeting at the hospital. Lily actually sprained her ankle and needed medical attention. Instead, Ryle just happened to be on the next road.
Yeah, of course.
Or better than that, wanted to exchange numbers, like normal people. I also didn't appreciate the flashback diary form of introducing us to her first boyfriend, Atlas. You know, the one who groomed her, which nobody's talking about. He was 18 and she was 15. By the letter of the law, that is grooming.
Yep.
But at the time, I didn't understand why we was getting this played out flashback move every chapter to learn about this homeless guy. And then we have the other story too. Is one love story not enough? And also, what's with the flower shop? Like, why so much emphasis? I'm struggling to see the relevance.
Bro, it was not important.
And I was right. There was no relevance at all.
Insignificant. Pointless.
But we spent so much time the grand opening and this, that, and the other.
Didn't care.
The manner that the first section of the story was written was strange. It's almost like Lily was killing time in the main story while the flashback diary reading story warmed up, which is a waste of time. Lily's story...
Almost like... It was.
Lily's story could or should have been her trying to track down Atlas, and on that adventure she could have met Ryle. That would have been a much more productive way of conveying the story.
Yeah, no,
Instead
it could
of
have
this
been. It could have been.
rereading her diary,
flashback, ridiculous. And it was such a clearly disguised attempt to not have a time skip or a flashback or whatever.
I mean, it's creative.
It was an attempt. It was an attempt at being creative.
Yeah, exactly.
It was an attempt at being creative, which is not nothing. You should definitely get points for attempting. Like Evil Knievel, you're Daredevil. You get paid for the attempt. Yeah. But you don't get paid as much for that as if you succeed. Obviously.
It was just a blatant time skip, though.
It was a time skip. It was a time skip in a different package. The Trojan horse time skip.
Just do the time skip.
Just do it.
We all know what you're doing.
We know what you want to do.
Do you think she thinks she's fooling us?
I hope not. Because if you do, give up. Started well, but the book is losing me. Time skip will do that every time. Lily's mother did move to Boston, And since Lily has spent her inheritance on an old failed restaurant building to turn into a florist, which is her passion. A woman just happens to be passing by and just happens to be a flower lover who just happens to be great at design, who just happens to be willing to work for free. Too many coincidental conveniences in a row for me. Oh, we haven't even got to the biggest one. And what is with this whole florist thing anyway? I don't care about any of this. I'd much rather be reading about Ryle's career. He's a neurosurgeon. Why are we not reading about this? You know, we had all these scenes where he was like, oh, I've got to perform a craniotomy, craniology. We didn't see any of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Any of it. Literally, not one single. We just saw this guy putting on scrubs to go to work, taking off scrubs after work.
Fucking her in the scrubs.
Fucking her in the scrubs. Her thinking about him fucking her in the scrubs. That was literally all we got about the news stage. But you know what we did get? We did get the florist scenes.
Yeah. Jeez.
Ridiculous. They're talking about what colour scheme they're going to paint. Who cares?
Ryle Kincaid gets down on his hands and knees.
That was
and says to Lily, please have sex with me so I can get you off their mind. If their first meeting wasn't a big enough red flag, then this definitely should do the trick for Lily. The worst thing about this all is that it sounds like this isn't the first time that Ryle has had to have a one-night stand with a woman to get them off his mind. Lily must have gone to herself, taking all those red flags into consideration, and then including the fact that he has no experience of relationships. This is the guy I want.
Yeah, of course.
Is Colleen Hoover actually serious?
Like,
is she serious?
Do you like women? Be honest. Do you actually like or respect them? Because this is ridiculous.
You're making them seem stupid.
Is this what you actually want? You want a guy to be on his hands and knees saying, please. Like, they want to feel like a drug. And that's the emphasis I got. Because she actually said it. Lily actually said it in the book. Oh, wow, I must be a drug. Yeah. You know, kind of bigging herself up.
Ladies, you don't want a man that is
a drug addict. Like, come on, bro. You don't want a drug addict.
For a partner.
You know you don't.
Who is disciplined, someone who's driven by duty. That's what you want, someone.
The fact that this guy was on his hands and knees begging her, like, come on.
Please, I need to have sex with you.
Does this guy look in control of his urges? And if he's not, you know where that's a slippery slope to the R word.
Yeah.
And it was.
One thing I did like, for like 1 second, the no sex started the relationship. It seemed like Colleen Hoover was trying to state the fact that a relationship is more than just sex. But no, that didn't last long. And then once sex was introduced, that was the basis of their relationship, unfortunately.
I mean, it was a basis from the beginning, to be honest.
Through sex, and even Ryle apologized through sex. The book reads, his apology comes in slow thrusts into my body. Every time he pulls out, he says, I'm sorry. Cringe.
That is incredibly creepy. Incredibly creepy.
He pulls out, I'm sorry.
That's what women want.
I'm sorry.
They want to constantly apologize forever. Just keep apologizing. But listen, it was a basis.
It's also a nice touch. It's also a nice touch that Ryle's sister is infertile. I feel like it gives a voice to women who cannot conceive. Ryle's sister tried to find purpose because she was incapable of falling pregnant. And I appreciated that character development. But yeah, do you want to say what you want to say?
Yeah, it was a basis of the relationship from the beginning. It was a basis of the relationship from the beginning, to be honest. They met and they was just like, yeah, we're horny.
Yeah, I want to fuck you.
Yeah, and then they tried and they got a phone call and ran off. And then 6 months later, they met again. It was like, let's pick up where we left off.
And he fell asleep.
Yeah, he was there massaging her foot in the shop, remember, whatever, and I still want to fuck you. Like, and his sister was like, you want to what?
Oh, yeah.
That scene did make me laugh, but at the same time, I was literally just like, this is just lust, isn't it? Yeah, but all these books are.
Yeah.
But yeah, he fell asleep. That made me laugh as well, because that is the most mannish thing I've ever heard of. He just fell asleep. waiting for her to get ready. Do you think that's a strategy by just trying to wait for him to fall asleep?
No, but why didn't she wake him up?
She didn't want to do it in the first place. She didn't want to do it in the first place. No, I will never be upset. Wake me up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just start sucking it. So Ryle is insane. That's what I'm getting from this story. This super busy neurosurgeon who works 24 to 48 hour shifts, who had enough time to literally manually knock on more than 20 doors looking for a girl he's met twice to beg her to have sex with him. Fantastical, nonsensical, fantasy nonsense. Is this what women like? Women want to feel like the box is so good I can reduce a man to a pathetic blubbering lump. This is a pattern in this vein of literature. Sighing sad girl meets 1% man who can't commit to one woman and makes him commit to one woman because she's got that X factor.
Of course.
I've said this 1,000 times, but it's no less relevant today than it was the first time I said it. Cinderella, who sweeps floors, gets the prince. Bridget Jones, who's fat and says fuck a lot, makes Mark Darcy cheat on his wife. And by the way, the next chapter after, Ryle begs Lily for sex, takes place 53 days later. So there was another time skip. And we still got the other one coming up, the letters thing.
Yeah.
Which I was like, you disgrace. You're a disgrace for that letter thing. But yeah, the diary. Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGenerate.
He's been cancelled since.
Oh, yeah, of course. Ellen DeGenerate.
Question of the day. You are watching a film with your parents and a sex scene has started. What's your next move? Is it childish to skip the sex scenes? Do you just ride it out?
What, if you're the child?
Yeah.
You're the child, so you're watching a movie, so you're there, the remote in your hand or whatever.
Sex switch the movie on
and bow, straight there.
No, you've been watching the movie.
Oh, okay.
It happens. What do you do?
Look at your parents. Look at your parents
away.
Like.
What do you do? Take your phone out? Do you make conversation?
I probably would have.
So nice weather today.
Yeah, I probably would have opted for that.
Conversation.
No, not conversation, but I would have opted for that. Phone. Straight phone.
But your parent knows what you're doing.
I'm letting this. That's what I'm doing.
Watch it.
Yeah. I'm doing
What
this.
is the right or wrong way to navigate this awkward encounter? Could you pretend to be innocent? What are they doing?
Wrestling?
What's that about?
What are they doing?
or the Uno reverse.
Why you keep calling
Turn it up. I love this bit. Make them feel. Make them feel uncomfortable.
Choose chaos. Chaos reigns. Nah, if you try the innocent, that's never gonna work. The innocent thing is never gonna work. What are you doing? Why does she keep calling out for the Lord Jesus Christ, our Saviour?
Don't stop what?
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I think who in that scenario?
It's a strange toothbrush. She's brushing her teeth with.
Who's in this scenario? Who finds it more awkward? Do you think?
I think it's got to be the parents. It's got to be the parents.
Really?
I think it's got to be the parents because like children are obviously going to be awkward.
But I think the parent goes like this.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing to mommy.
That's yeah. Now the child is awkward, but they don't know why they're awkward. The parent knows why they're awkward. The child's awkward for no reason, basically.
Yeah.
The parent knows why they're awkward because they're literally just like, because there's a taboo on sex, we do this shit every night. We wait for you to fall asleep to do it. We've never talked about it. I have no intentions to ever explain any of this to you. And we're just going to sit here. You're literally, Daddy, where's my pee-pee going hard? You're just sitting there just like, I don't know, son. I don't know. So as a parent, there's a degree of culpability. There's a degree of culpability to your awkwardness because you're literally like, this shouldn't be a taboo in my household. I should have sorted this long time, but you haven't because you didn't want to talk about it.
So any feelings that the child has of awkwardness is the parent's fault?
Of course.
Because
there shouldn't be a taboo in this household. I mean, you can't control what happens in society, but there shouldn't be a taboo in your household unless you've allowed one to be there.
So you think there's a world or there's a family that can watch sex scenes and there's no awkwardness, it's just like an action
there's
film.
Children that smoke weed with their parents. There's everything. There's everything. And maybe it's not necessarily like an action film, but there's no taboo. They're like, they can talk about things.
We're definitely spending too much time on this,
No,
but awkwardness is a feeling that is encoded into us for a reason.
I suppose so.
So for us to say that we should banish it,
I'm not saying we necessarily should banish it, but I think it's there so that we can form social relationships. Because you need to be able to behave appropriately socially in order to form social relationships. That's probably what it's there for. Probably, at a guess. But in this scenario specifically, like if you're asking me who's more awkward, I would say it's the parents because they know why they're awkward because they know it's their fault. So there's culpability there. Whereas a child is just like.
If I was the parent, as I said,
Well, I think that's probably one could argue that's a healthier way to go about it. There's definitely an argument to be made there. You know, you got to slap mommy on the. That's what I'm gonna do to you.
All right, let me go. When are you gonna start with the question of the days, eh?
Hilarious.
What do you mean?
I mean,
I want to answer some questions at some point.
made a funny. I'll have one next time.
Let me ask you a question, Joseph. Was the way Lily snuck away from her dinner date to go meet her ex-boyfriend in the toilets okay? Ryle caught her coming out of the toilet stall with Atlas. The way Ryle goes on more times, I'm surprised he didn't slap the bitch then. Because to me, that's an enjoy your life, see you later. Delete block. I've cut people off for less.
Well, I think with women, it's, less about what you do than how you make them feel. If you're sneaking out to the toilet to see some guy, then he clearly makes you feel a certain way, which is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Like straight away she should have said, "Oh, that's my old boyfriend, etc., etc. This is my new boyfriend. Shake hands." But she didn't. So
shake hands.
Shake hands.
You think that's the
shake hands? Obviously not necessarily shake hands, but you know what I mean. Anyway, sneaking off to the toilet to see him is like.
And the bit where he said, "Oh, this is Atlas, the homeless boy you pity fucked." When I heard that, I went, whoa!
Yeah, 100%.
I literally screamed.
I said, get him.
And when I heard that, can you imagine being on the receiving end of that?
Get him.
Fist straight.
Get him.
And then to restore your dignity, you probably have to mount her. there and then.
Oh, I'm dead.
Dispatching with him.
The only one who's actually held in the L there is Lily, because Atlas, he's whatever her new boyfriend tries to say about Atlas, like, I still hit. So just remember that. I still hit at the end of the day.
After this scene...
You can't laugh.
And after this scene, there was another long period of time where there was no plot and absolutely nothing happened inside, from Lily selling flowers and Lily and Ryle having lots of sex. It's almost like we are killing time until Ryle has another episode.
Almost like.
Yeah.
Again, being very generous here.
It's almost like, I don't know.
Who knows? Who does know?
Oh, gosh.
Why is Ryle and Lily's romance a secret from Alyssa? So, just a quick recap of the characters. Ryle Kincaid's the neurosurgeon, male lead. Lily Bloom is the marketing genius / florist, female lead. Alyssa is Ryle's sister and Lily's employee, and for large parts of the book, Ryle and Lily are shooting each other secret flirty looks and hiding their romance from Alyssa. The question is, why? They're not in school, she's not the teacher.
Wait, I didn't notice that.
They're grown-ass adults, allegedly, and they can date whoever they feel like dating. Furthermore, what is this thing about Ryle's job? He's apparently this workaholic neurosurgeon who works so often that his own mother thinks he's a psychopath, and yet he still has time to wear onesies and drink beer with his sister's husband. He still has time to stroll into flower shops and have cute banter with the girl who owns the shop. He still has time to manually knock on doors to beg that same girl to have sex with him. We saw a similar phenomenon in one of the housemaid books, where husband Andrew was a super crazy, successful, bombastic businessman, but didn't do any work for the entire book. He was literally sitting around the house, you know. Maid would come downstairs, sitting there in his pajamas or whatever, like boxers. Ryle was doing the exact same thing. This guy would literally be like, oh yeah, I just did a 48-hour shift, and the next day we'll just see this guy strolling around. Yeah, going into the shops, I can flirt with this girl, send her flowers there. You're not busy. And furthermore, he's a neurosurgeon. Is there a lot of brain surgery going around these days? I don't really know. I feel like it would have made more sense for him to be a surgeon.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was a neurosurgeon.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for him.
I feel like they just wanted to upgrade him for no reason. Because like, how many brain surgeries you do in a day? Really?
Well, I don't know, but there was definitely no need for him to be specifically a neurosurgeon, especially when we didn't experience any of his job at all whatsoever. So I don't understand what that was about.
And his job was even more important than Lily being a florist, and we still didn't see any of it. And it was still more important than Lily being a florist.
15 seconds can change everything. Lily wished that they could just delete the last 15 seconds. This is the part where Ryle found a phone number hidden in Lily's phone, the phone number belonging to the ex-boyfriend. Ryle storms out of the house and Lily runs after him, grabbing him, and he sort of flung her off, and I believe she fell down the stairs and is subsequently knocked unconscious.
She doesn't have the right to lay hands on him.
When she wakes up, Ryle is begging for forgiveness, and she says to him, if anything ever happens like this again, then I will know it was an accident and I'll leave you without a second thought. I couldn't hear that. If my girl said that to me, I'd be like, bye, leave now. Don't be threatening me. But the issue I have with this book is that domestic violence is technically on both sides. Ryle tried to get away, and by Lily trying to stop him leaving, technically that is sexual harassment and false imprisonment. So he pushes her in self-defense. Now all of a sudden, he's in the wrong. The fuck? As the young kids say, make that make sense.
Yeah.
So,
Maths is not nothing.
we got this one-sided domestic violence narrative, but it was coming from both sides, technically.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, if, you know, let's say you're cheating on your girl, whatever, texting some girl on the side, she finds out, slaps you in the face. That's totally acceptable. Yeah, totally acceptable.
Even
right?
to throw things at you.
To throw things at you.
To throw your shit out the house. That's
100% totally acceptable. So for him to like storm off.
Yeah, exactly.
After, and then like now she's run after him, grabbing him up. Like, it's just, these things do not translate in both directions, right? So,
and I would have cut anyway. From when she's having, there's too much with this ex.
Bro,
it's
go.
Too much.
In fact, I think it's interesting. It's just like, women should really be able to sympathise with Ryle, because this is exactly how a woman would behave, you know? He's going through your phone, looking at shit they shouldn't be looking at, you know, getting upset, storming off. Like, this is exactly the kind of shit that they do. They should really sympathise with his side, but something tells me they're not.
What's your thoughts on, you see the restaurant scene when she sneaks out to go meet him or whatnot? What would you expect your girl to do in that situation? So you're at a restaurant, your girl realises that it's her ex-boyfriend. Would you expect your girlfriend, as these come around to take the order, just say, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Long time no see," and then like just be like, "Oh." Yeah. Or would you expect her to wait until he walks away to say, "Oh, I think that's my ex-boyfriend"? Or would you expect her to not say anything and not talk to him, nothing, and then the next morning say, "I think that was my boyfriend," to not ruin the evening?
I think any one of those would have been acceptable options. Better than what she oh, of course. thousand times better. Any one of those would be acceptable options. Any one of those is justifiable decisions to make. Right? Yeah. You could do it on the spot and literally just be like, I didn't want to sit on it, didn't want to keep it a secret, etc., etc. You can understand that as a man. You can, if she waited till later that night, you can understand why she did that as a man. If she waited till the morning after, didn't want to ruin the evening, cool. That I can understand as a man. The one thing I cannot understand is snuck out to the toilet. You know what happens in toilets? Because I know. I've been in them. But yeah, all of those things are justifiable decisions to make. She just made horrible decisions. And
clearly from the get-go.
Clearly, from beginning to end, she made horrible decisions.
Even the whoopsie baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible decisions. I think I missed a pill. I missed a few pills.
Man said I think I missed a few pills. Yeah, mental pills. For your mental. Anyway, and a smidge of homophobia to round off proceedings. I'm being a little bit anal pointing this out. A little bit of a woke warrior, so to speak. So Lily attends Alyssa's birthday party with Devin, her gay best friend from work. In a bid to make Ryle jealous, Devin introduces himself to Marshall, Alyssa's husband, as, "I'm Lily's sexual partner." Yeah. The moment is supposed to play off as comedic social awkwardness, sort of like, he's trying so hard, but he just doesn't get it, sort of thing. Why doesn't he get it? Why doesn't he get it? Because he's gay. Why doesn't he get it?
I didn't read that scene like that.
Because gays are stupid. Because gays are to straights, as autistics are to neurotypicals. Would Devin seriously introduce himself to his own boyfriend's friends or family as, "I am the sexual partner"? What is the justification for Devin thinking that this is a normal or appropriate way to introduce oneself? Other than him being a silly, airheaded gay who doesn't understand such complicated things as conversation. Like I said, it's a small thing to hyperfixate on, but as we know, women are incredibly homophobic at large, and it feels good to Uno reverse the politically correct people. So yeah, I was literally just like, why is it funny?
I think I'm calling to cancel Colleen Hoover.
Cancel her immediately. Why is it funny that he doesn't get it? Why doesn't he get it? When you explain yourself, why is it fun? When somebody makes a politically incorrect joke or whatever, and you're like, I don't get it, can you explain that? And they're like, you're like, no, I don't. Like, what is it? What did you mean by that? So I got these trousers from work, right? They had to make me get these trousers from work. And I had to go to Next, the shop, to get them. I need a specific kind of trouser. And then I asked my manager, are these the right ones? And he said, I can't see, it's too dark. I said, wait, what? What do you mean it's too dark? Because he was like, I can't see, it's too dark. I was like, you trying to say, like, I'm too black to, like, what are you trying to say? And he's like, no.
Question, isn't this story about a girl getting groomed? Lily was 15 years old and Atlas was 18 or 19 and they were having sex. Why is nobody talking about how disgusting Atlas is? Why are people saying that he's the perfect boyfriend? And I already said this. I saw a chart on TikTok where women voted who the #1 boyfriend is. Can you imagine that Ryle Kincaid came in 7th on the list? Is that not proof enough that women are sick? Can you imagine a man who consistently beats his woman is sought after by women?
Well, I think because, you're not really allowed to say women are emotional anymore, even though they are. I think men are emotional too, but because women are emotional...
They're rewarded for being emotional.
Not only that, but they think the best man is the one that's the most emotional, or the one that shows
me more.
The one that shows the male emotion, so anger, frustration, aggression, basically. Obviously, if you cry all the time, those are feminine emotions. But the ones that we are allowed to show, anger, rage, aggression, frustration, the ones who shows the most of those means he is so in love with me, he can't control himself. So that's kind of how they see it. Whereas it's maybe unfair to say that that's wrong, but
it doesn't work in the long run.
Not only does it not work in the long run, but it is definitely self-sabotage. It's, cancerous to your own relationship and to your life. Yeah. As we've seen, men that can't control their emotions are incredibly dangerous people, because at the end of the day, the way they're described, Lily's not overpowering Ryle 1-1. Do you know what I mean? So it's like he's dangerous, he's out of control of his emotions, he's angry, he's frustrated, and his hands work overtime. So it's not a good combo to have in a man, is it? Author is getting carried away with these letters. So when Lily was a teenager, technically counts as a time skip, just saying, she kept a diary in the form of letters to her favourite comedian and television presenter, Ellen DeGeneres. It was a cool idea at first, I thought, but pretty soon I think the author forgot they're meant to be letters, and they started becoming pages and pages of poetic dialogue. It kind of exposed the letters for what they were, in my opinion, a crafty way to give us a time skip without having to say 10 years earlier. So it was like, she was midway between a story about something that happened between her and Atlas or whatever, and it was like, yeah, my eyes flicked downward, and it just, you're not putting this in a letter. Like, stop it. Much less a letter you're never going to send. You wouldn't even put this in a real letter. This is literally just, you just giving us time skip in italics. That's literally all it is.
No, she done her thing.
She tried
to do her thing, yeah.
She tried. Like I said, you get points for the attempt. You attempted it, but it was just the same idea repackaged.
This has to be the worst, most shallow, secret-filled marriage ever for a couple who value naked truths. They seem to know nothing about each other. How is it, only after they got married, Ryle has had to be coaxed by his sister into admitting to Lily that he shot and killed his older brother when he was 6 years old and has been in therapy ever since. Then we have Lily, who has an ex-boyfriend that she still loves and probably will for the rest of her life. These are things that should be discussed before getting married.
Yeah,
but I guess they were too busy having sex all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's, if they only knew how common of a problem that is in relationships. Yeah, too busy cheating to actually talk.
I'd like to note that Ryle's sister seemed more like she was on Lily's side from the jump. What do you think that was... Wait, what? What do you think that was about? That, I don't know what I'm saying. But I don't know why the author did that. Because when she tried... So for the first time, she tried to warn Lily away from him over some breakfast. The second time was when Atlas visited Lily in the flower shop and she said, don't worry, I won't tell Ryle. And then the third, the heinous, I will never talk to you again bit.
Oh, yeah.
So why did the author make the character like Ryle's sister, but then not bat for him at all? What was the point of that? She might as well have just been Lily's best friend.
I mean, she played that role. She played a role, because we know in all these romance stories, there is the female best friend.
Yeah, she played the best friend role. But why make her Ryle's brother if she's anti-him?
Loyalty to men is disgusting to women. It's disgusting. That's the only thing I can think of.
But why make him her sister?
Because she needed a way for Alyssa to bring Ryle into the story.
But you don't need to make a whole character be someone's sister just for them to meet again.
Well, guess what? They could exchange phone numbers. We need to have Alyssa in the book at all.
She needed to have a best friend to talk about things.
And he needed a reason for Ryle to even be in Boston. Remember, he was like, my sister lives here or whatever in the first chapter. I don't know if you remember this, because it would hardly have been important at that point. His
sister, though.
Huh?
It's just where his family lives or whatever. But where his job is. I don't understand what that dynamic
his family wasn't important, his job wasn't important, nothing was important. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There you are, plot. Nice of you to show up halfway into the book. Honestly, it's like I'm reading Spider-Man 3. So, we're about 150 pages in, give or take, and so far not a lot has been happening. Sure, we've had a lot of fiery flirting and our two main characters making googly eyes at each other from across rooms, but there's been no jeopardy. Ryle is a bad, bombastic neurosurgeon and he makes lots of money. Lily is a florist and business is booming and she makes lots of money. This has just been a memoir about two people succeeding and doing a will they shag, won't they shag, well we all know they will shag. Now, finally, something interesting happens. Ryle and Lily take Lily's mother to a nice restaurant who should be their waiter but an old familiar face. Atlas, the homeless boy that Lily fell in love with as a teenager.
The homeless boy, she pity fucked.
She piped. The same one she just happens to be rereading old letters about. A bit of a stretch, but I'll take anything at this point. Honestly, the amount of coincidences in this book was nauseating. It's like, you serious? You actually... So you pick the restaurant next door, none of this book's going to happen. That's what you're telling me. You pick the 6:30 rares instead of the 9:30 rares, none of this book's happening. Yeah. That's what you're telling
me. I think it's probably time we get into the rape scene. A rape scene.
The grape scene.
And this is where people are going to cancel us. The reason being,
us?
I don't know if he tried to rape her, but he definitely sexually assaulted her. The definition of attempted rape is when somebody tries to force unwanted sexual penetration on a victim but is unsuccessful. So technically, Ryle did not actually try to rape her, but he did sexually assault her. And he also tried to do some sadistic, angrily question her while at the same time fingering her, which was just weird. Maybe he was trying to massage the truth out of that lying bitch. I mean, he did try to talk to her, and that wasn't working. One might ask, what else was he supposed to do? This was when he was asking about the magnet, and she just would not answer. The book says she started screaming, and he tried to shut her up by putting his mouth on hers. So that's where he definitely sexually assaulted her. And in her response, she bit his tongue, and his head came crashing down on hers, which is a reasonable reaction. I wouldn't necessarily say that he intentionally headbutted her, but this prompted Lily to say, "Now get the fuck out of my apartment," which to me is crazy. And this is so realistic because this is how women get. As soon as they have some power, they exercise it. They are married, so that's effectively two people becoming one. And she's saying things like, "Get the fuck out of my apartment." A man would be the one to leave, to find somewhere to stay. They would exercise the power. I was ready to give Lily a blight, but this is strike 3. She lied about the magnet too. First meeting Atlas in the toilet, the tattoo, then the phone number, now the magnet, and she can't see how this would drive Ryle crazy. Especially when he's asking her in a calm manner and she's lying to his face. This book is a big gaslighting piece of propaganda. The way the book is written, it suggests that Lily is the victim and Ryle is the perpetrator. But I do not think things are so black and white. Two things can be true. He shouldn't have done what he did, but neither should she.
Of course not.
Even merely rereading your diary about an ex-man is a no-no, much less keeping it. She's a married woman, remember? It's not like her and Ryle are just dating. So, you know, the way the book is, as I said, it just feels like all the blame's on Ryle, where I don't think it's so black and white. I think they've both done things they weren't supposed to do, and they both made that situation happen. Ryle never, not one point, unprovoked, beat her, which is normally what we expect from domestic violence situations. But every time she was putting her hands on him, and he was doing something in response and whatnot.
Well, you know, a lot of people seem to think, and I think people are programmed to think that, you know, when women put their hands on you out of emotion, it's justified because you made them feel that way. You did something, you know. But, you know, it's like if you hear some man slapped a woman and you say, "Oh, she must have done something," people are like, "Well, why are you victim blaming?" All of a sudden. So there's a comedian called Bill Burr. He literally said, "I think women need to stop pretending that every ass whooping falls out of the sky." Like he said, you're not supposed to do it, but let's not pretend that there wasn't a cause. There wasn't, you know, a series of events that led up to this. You might have said something crazy to him. "Oh, fuck all your friends." Something crazy like that. Who knows?
It's funny because my neighbour says that I can hear them having arguments. And his girl will say, "I'm going to go fuck your dad."
Yeah, see, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Like,
bro, that's crazy.
Like, why?
That's insane. That is insane.
Like, why would you even say that?
Because you know why she said that? Because she wants to get... Bow!
She wants to rile him up.
Come on.
I'm going to go fuck your dad.
Nah, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Take me in now. Just take me in now. It's not happening.
So, you know.
I'm not the one, love. I hope it's becoming apparent that this book has serious issues with coincidence and it's only getting worse. Coincidence should be a naturally occurring phenomenon that helps keep life interesting. It is not a one-size-fits-all device for you to advance your plot, Miss Hoover. You can't just cause things to happen. You are not God. It makes for more than my fair share of eye-rolling when every single interaction between every single character is 100% down to chance. Lily met Alyssa by chance. She walked into Lily's shop thanks to a sign Lily didn't even put up by chance. Ryle was down the street drinking beers by chance. If Lily didn't twist her ankle, they wouldn't even have met. Now you're telling me they just strolled into the restaurant where old flame Atlas happens to work. Lily is officially the unluckiest person in the history of bad luck. So this is probably the most coincidence-driven book I've ever read in my life.
She's the luckiest unlucky person.
Luckiest unlucky person. So it's just the most coincidence-driven book I've ever read in my life. Nothing would happen without rolls of the dice that always land on one.
Well, the problem is it's not coincidence. It's fate.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Fate inked in blood.
It's crazy. But it's like, it's crazy because so many of these things didn't need to happen by chance. It was a choice, a conscious decision to make them happen
by chance.
By chance. Exactly. So
yeah, it didn't need
like I said, the author had them switch phone numbers. Now you've eliminated one coincidence. Yeah, exactly. The more you eliminate, the better, in my opinion.
So after the drama, we had a lot of internal dialogue, which I thought was quite interesting. The way Lily tried to process the situation, you know, the fight. The situation, where she questions whether it would be okay to go against her vows of marriage given the situation. And this was her summary. But for better or for worse, fuck that shit. And I think that's disgusting.
Fair enough.
Especially given the fact that I know women were giving that a standing ovation in their heads as they were reading
I know that's right.
That is a damaging statement to be purporting to the masses. Is Colleen Hoover suggesting that marriage vows are meaningless and at the first sign of trouble in a relationship, that divorce is the immediate option? Let us remember that Ryle isn't a man that doesn't want to change. This is a man that said to his wife, help me change, please. This is a guy with legitimate trauma. She said, till death do us part, when times were good, but when push came to shove, pun intended, she cut and left.
That's why she's 30 and single, bruv.
What happened to reconciliation, to professional help, to separate living arrangements even? She tried nothing aside from I want a divorce.
Of course.
I think with great power comes great responsibility. So if you have a large voice, Colleen Hoover, you should be writing books to strengthen family and marriage and not destroying it.
100%. And look, anybody who's watching this thinks we're being unfair. You can go back on our videos. When we read the housemaid secret or whatever, and Andrew was like left his wife for the maid, I was like, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you. So this is not a gender-related thing.
But
yeah. But I said that's what men do, you know. You said in your marriage vows, it says till death do us part. This is a union that you've made for life, right? So I think every step should be taken to honour that rather than just cutting and like, look, if it was easy, there would be no point doing it. You know, you shouldn't really expect relationships to be easy every single step of the way. If you think that,
take care of itself.
Exactly. If you think that, it's because you watch too much TV and you don't read enough.
Or you read too much fiction.
Or you read too much fiction. You're not reading the right things. You're not watching you're not consuming the right media. But yeah, that is crazy to say, get the fuck out of my apartment. I want a divorce. Wait, what did she say? Till death do us part. Fuck that shit. That is insane.
She said, I probably shouldn't go back against my vows because till death do us part. Nah, fuck that shit.
Well, what I heard that was an interesting concept. What I heard that was an interesting idea is that this kind of links into the anxious generation a little bit. But this guy online, he said, going on social media has taught people that you can just press block button. On social media, you can press block button. You can just abandon make that stop. Literally, he said, now, when you used to grow up with your family, if your brother or your sister or whatever, you pissed you off, you have to live with that person forever.
You probably share a room with him.
You have to figure out a way to get along. Find a way to concentrate on your similarities rather than your differences. And social media has just taught us, guess what? Got my own room, close that door. You know, you want to talk to me and I want to hear it? I can block you mid-sentence, mate. Mid-text, you know. When the bubble is doing that thing, you can block them. So social media has done a lot of damage to our brains in terms of what we are willing to tolerate. Now, it seems to have affected marriage. I don't have to tolerate that shit no more. Get divorced. What? I bought this baby.
So what if I said till death do us part? Fuck that shit.
I don't care what I said.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
I've got one more.
That is not going to serve her well in life.
No, definitely not.
I've got two more, so let me go. Ryle shows his true colours. Who could have guessed that a dude called Ryle would be easily riled up? Rolls eyes. During dinner together, Ryle burns his hand attempting to remove a casserole dish from the oven because he's an idiot. Lily automatically laughs at the mishap and Ryle lashes out in a fit of anger and slaps that bitch upside the head. It's a moment of... Apparently he pushed her. I heard loads of people saying he slapped her or whatever, but she said he pushed me. But the action, you didn't see the action, you just see arm on the floor or whatever.
Yeah, she banged her head after.
She banged her head. It's a moment of shock for Lily as she realises that shit ain't sweet out here and Ryle ain't no one to play with. What a surprise, right? Who would have guessed that the guy that literally knocked on 30 different doors to beg her to have sex with would be a little bit messed up? Anyway, we all make mistakes. Now that Lily knows who Ryle is, she's got to leave him, right? Right.
Why did she laugh at him, though? No, I'm joking.
Look, I don't know. I wouldn't. The reason why I was thinking about it is because I don't know if I would have laughed if somebody scorches their hand on a casserole dish. I wouldn't laugh. I'd be concerned. Yeah. And if they looked okay, I'd be like, "You idiot! Why did you take it out with that?" Yeah. But my immediate reaction would not be to laugh. And so that's why I kind of thought it was weird. If roles were reversed and you as a guy laughed at your girl for doing that, it wouldn't be. Bro, it's never funny when it's women.
It wouldn't be.
Nothing's funny when it's women. Nothing.
You don't care about me.
Everything's funny when it's men because we can take it. You know.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse, the magic whoopsie baby that the story didn't need, or Ryle's sister saying to Lily, Ryle is my brother. I know he loves you more than anything. As his sister, I hope you can work it out and forgive him. But as your best friend, know that if you do forgive him, I will never speak to you again.
Damn.
That's powerful, but disgusting. Is he trying to confuse the poor girl?
Yeah, legit. Both
of these are attempts to invoke emotions into the reader. But that statement, I will never speak to you again, is controlling and manipulative. She knows that Lily has no support network apart from her, so to say that to her is a red flag. I would personally stop talking to a friend like that, because a friend isn't supposed to try and control you. A friend is supposed to support you, especially when you are the sister of the husband. You can mediate. Do you know what I mean?
You can, the bridge that connects them
both. So to say, never speak to you again, that's crazy. So say your last point, quote of the day. And then we're out.
All things considered, I think the title of this book is a pretty good one. It ends with us. The cycle of violence ends with us. I mean, the daughter is a whoopsie baby, so it doesn't really, but still, the sentiment is a valid one. Nothing of much interest took place in the story until the domestic violence scenes, and the chemistry in the book before that I found totally uncompelling. The significance of Lily being a florist was totally missing, and in fact that whole plotline was nothing more than a disguised plot device to reunite Lily and Ryle after their initial meeting, which could have easily been solved if they'd done what normal adults do and swap fucking phone numbers. But of course, the author wanted to manufacture the whole "it was fate" lightning bolt moment, which you can only have if our characters meet by chance. So, waste of words, basically. Ironically, I said all that to mean waste of words.
Can you imagine there's a sequel?
Oh yeah, it starts with us. And it's like about the...
Atlas.
Yeah, and them lot, or whatever. And he's the guy that's raising the whoopsie baby.
Yeah.
It's just you know, like women or men. Like, do you know what I mean? That's your message. Pick that guy. And that's your message for the men.
And that's the guy...
Clean up afterwards.
Yeah. And that's the guy who groomed her.
Oh my days, I forgot about that as well.
That's the guy who groomed her.
That's
no wonder why she loves him.
Disgrace.
I'll probably love him forever. Or whatever.
Hand over your right to free speech. Colleen Hoover. Hand it over.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my last point. So
you definitely think the book wasn't worth reading?
No. I think it was worth reading, but there was a lot to criticize about it, and I mean a lot to criticize about it.
Well, it's a very the book was so popular it's been adapted into a film.
Yeah, Blake Lively played the main character.
I don't even know who that is.
Blake Lively is Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Oh,
you know the thing from Green Lantern. Huh?
She literally got the part.
I really don't think she's a good actress whatsoever in any capacity. But she was on Gossip Girl.
So she was in Green Lantern?
Yeah, she was the thing from Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds' girl from Green Lantern. The girl of the movie.
I don't remember her.
So the girl of the movie,
was they married from then?
I think so, but I can't be sure. I don't know when they was married. But I do know she was in Gossip Girl. She was like a very popular character in Gossip Girl, which of course is your favourite show.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like you're into it. Yeah. Quote of the day. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever.
It's pretty good. I'm in support of anything that encourages learning, to be honest.
Living and learning. And dying tomorrow.
And living forever. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Shall I go with mine?
Go on.
Quote of the day. The day that a blind man sees, the first thing he throws away is the stick that has helped him all his life.
I want to say, I immediately wanted to say it was shit. I immediately wanted to say it's shit, but it's all right. It's all right.
I think it's pretty good.
I think it's good, but it's just... Okay, so what I understand from that is it's funny how you can need something or use something for years and in a moment's notice dash it away.
That as well, but there's some other meanings.
What else is it? Because that's all I'm getting from it.
It is about it's about man's nature to not have loyalty to the things that we need, you know, to chase after what we want as opposed to what we need, or because look how long that stick helped him for.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like
the same thing that
it's like
pretty much.
It's kind of something about duty a little bit, kind of.
Fair enough.
You think so?
No, I don't think so. But,
I think it's saying something about duty.
I still like the quote. It's still
I think it's better than yours.
Not as good, man. It's not as good as mine.
I think it's better than yours.
People say it can't. It literally can't be better than mine.
Well, I disagree.
Till next time.